Digital Innovation Award is awarded to the initiative which best leverages a digital and technological solution to help people improve the performance of their organisation's business processes and the quality of product and service outcomes for customers and stakeholders. Tilbury Douglas is one of the finalists of the Digital Innovation category at the International Quality Awards 2023. With over 130 years of experience in the construction and engineering sector, the organisation is considered a leading UK building, infrastructure, engineering and fit-out business that delivers vital projects across a range of sectors, including health, education, highways, justice, defence and water. Richard Green, head judge of the Digital Innovation category, said, "By combining the application of gaming technology with traditional design best practice, the Tilbury Douglas Configurator team has come up with a creative solution which not only significantly reduces design development time, but it also provides their clients with the opportunity to experience their buildings through 3D virtualization." For the application to the Digital Innovation Award, Tilbury Douglas focused on presenting their Connect Configurator project, a game-changing digital platform to accelerate the design process. What caught the judges' attention? Connect Configurator.
Connect is all about making sure we deliver our projects in the right way. And from a technology perspective, it's helping deliver what we call a digital twin. So this is all about, well, we've got our physical replica of the building, but actually, could we have a virtual version of this that tells us everything we need to know about our facility before it's going to happen? Can we know when there's something going to go wrong? Can we know when something needs maintaining? Can we better use our buildings because we've got the figures to tell us that that room never gets used or that one is always to full capacity? It's things like that that help us better manage facilities, and Connect is our mechanism to get there. We look at processes, we look at the people, we look at the technology, and we bring them together in a single integrated environment. And it's all about safer operations and more efficiencies. If we look at that wheel very quickly, you'll see that there are a series of core tools in orange near the middle. One of those core tools is our configurator. It's just the first part of our journey, because without the configurator, you can't move forwards effectively. This is what the configurator looks like. The configurator is based on standard designs and data. So key focus for us was healthcare and education. And effectively, what we want our clients to be able to do very early doors at concept design stage is say, well, I know roughly what my facility is going to look like. Can I start bringing in what some of these rooms would look like? And it's literally a drag and drop. Red means I can't put it there. Green means that would work. And it's dropping it in. And as we drop it in, we start to see data being populated on the right-hand side to tell us about our facility. So I could add in another exam room on this side of the building, and it's going to give me a building summary. And what it's going to tell me is what's my delivery estimate, what's my cost estimate, and what's my internal floor area and carbon figures. All of this at the moment comes from previous projects we've worked on, examples of data from suppliers, and we're starting to look at linking to the carbon database to get actual figures there as well. So the intention here is, as we build up that facility, our clients seeing exactly what they're going to get, but they're also seeing the budget, the time implications, the carbon implications, and what that's actually giving us is more certainty early doors at concept stage, rather than waiting for that fabrication level of detail that we normally get at REBA stage 4.
Developing the request for proposal.
We put together a working group, and that included both internal and external stakeholders. So it was very much about, can we put together a request for proposal, go out to vendors and understand who can deliver these requirements for us, and how can we make sure that whoever we select will provide us with the value that we're looking for. So a robust RFP process. We had the relevant stakeholders from internally put together a requirements document that covered not just functionally what it needed to work like, non-functionally what it needed to look like, but also things like information security. This was all going to be done online. Software online always has that question of, well, where's the data being hosted? Who will see my data? Working for government clients, that's key. So all of these things came into play. We put it to an exec board for approval. This is the sort of investment we were looking for. This is what we were hoping to bring, the value we were looking to add. And we went out to the vendors so they could start pricing up and putting a proposal together. Following on from that, there was a review. There was looking at competencies and capabilities. That was key. We needed to make sure they could deliver our requirements. But it was also looking at, well, how do they feel as a vendor kind of thing? Did we have confidence in them? Did we actually believe that they were able to deliver what we needed? And it was looking at what their demonstrations looked like. Did they have examples of doing this previously?
Unity Technologies.
They're a world-leading platform. They're very much focused on 3D real-time content and also looking at real-time data. So they brought the best of both worlds together for us. It wasn't just about what it looked like, it was about how we integrate the data with it. And they demonstrated really well that they had a structured plan to deliver this, because regardless of who we went with, we needed to make sure that we had key milestones that could be hit. We needed to make sure they understood our expectations, and we needed to make sure that we could really specify in detail what the features needed to be, technically what that meant, and what that journey looked like. For me, I'm a digital tech savvy person. It's what I do day in, day out. Our clients, a head teacher, for example, a nurse, we want them to be able to actually integrate with this platform. It's not about me sitting in front of them as a tech person saying, here, let me draw it for you. We want them to be able to take it on board and try it and use it themselves. That's where they get the best value. So we made sure that whoever we went with, and in this case it was Unity, had experience of doing that.
Implementation.
We went into implementation, and it was very much about assuring that we stayed on track. Unity work in 2 weekly sprints, which means every 2 weeks we set the requirements for the next 2 weeks. We review what was done, we confirm it was still in alignment. That North Star that we were heading towards, are we still heading in the right direction? One of the key things with this implementation process was record keeping. We needed to make sure that we recorded all of our sessions that we did on Zoom and Teams. We logged all of our minutes and actions, and we maintained a live issue log. So it's just making sure that we were fully comfortable with where we were. And in the same way, once we did get to testing and the approval stage of this before we went live, it was making sure that we understood that what the scope of the testing was. We had the right stakeholders from that working group doing the testing with us. So people who set the requirements could then effectively tick it off. And we made sure that the various stage gates that we needed to pass, we could pass, to make sure we had a solution that worked.
Demonstrated benefits. Stakeholder engagement across more than 10 stakeholder groups. Earlier sign-off through augmented and virtual reality. Reduced pre-construction period through standardized designs and delivery. Reduced rework and managed change control.
It's not just about cost, it's also about program, it's also about carbon, it's also about knowing who your suppliers are going to be. If I as a local authority had 3 schools ready to go and I knew exactly which suppliers I was going to use, I could procure my kit from those suppliers early doors. I could get a better deal procuring in bulk, knowing I'm going to need this much of X, Y, and Z within my facility. And we start to see efficiencies being built. And that's where this really comes into play, kind of thing. What we found with this more than anything is collaboration, engagement, smarter, easier approvals, because our client knows what to expect. And the key benefit from this that we've not seen anywhere else, we can take the designs out of this configurator and issue it direct to a design team or an architect in the software that they use to do the editing. So what will happen is this will go direct into their software, and they can continue building that model up and putting that detail together. So we're not losing information. We're not saying to them, take this and redraw it. We're removing that entire rework from the process.
It's absolutely revolutionary within the construction industry, having been in the industry for some 25 plus years and been in enough design meetings and backwards and forwards in design team meetings with customers and clients, and, you know, been given almost a design on a 2D sheet of paper, and you need to be a design master to be able to understand a lot of those sort of lines that you see running through programs and a design plan. This actually really starts to provide a visual sort of for our customers, for our clients at real time. But also you go back to thinking about how many times we've been down the place whereby, you know, we think the client understand what's actually in a design, but it's only until you've built it, it's only until you've gone and done a sample of it that changes and mind starts changing, expectations weren't quite aligned. So this really does give a real-time view and a visual opportunity to our clients.
Richard Corduroy, judge of the Digital Innovation category, said, "What we are seeing here is genuine innovation within design and construction, pulling ideas from the mass market and applying them to the professional space." Lessons and continuous development.
We also learned a lot of lessons along the way as well. And actually, it helps with continuous improvement, because working with those clients, launching at those events showed us there's a lot more that we can do. So it was very much about, can we bring in virtual reality? I want to see physically what it looks like. Can I actually immerse myself in that room? Augmented reality. I'm on site and actually I want to see what that building's going to look like, because I've got a live hospital next door. How do I know whether that's going to work? So what you can see there in that example is there's a couple of people within that model and they're having a bit of a play. They're moving things around. And the platform tracks and traces that, so it knows who's in it, it knows who's doing the changes, and at the end of it, it will give an approval process to someone to say, right, are you happy with the changes that have been made? Do we want to set those in stone? Being able to do that in virtual reality is something we haven't seen before yet. So it's that ability to make sure people can collaborate and work together. So I could be in a room and I could bring you all into the room with me, and we could almost have that conversation in the room, because I can actually talk to people through the speakers. It's really great. And in the same way with augmented reality, I'm going to skip ahead just so you can see, but when we're on site, we can scan a QR code and effectively see that building pop up in the middle of the site. So you've got an understanding that actually my live site's here, that's my access route, and my building isn't going to affect that, or it is going to affect that, and I need to just check what that route looks like. When we talk about standard room designs, it works for the DFE and it works for healthcare, because they've got standard rooms. But what happens when there's a bespoke requirements? Move it around, move where the doors and the windows go. Does it manage the access better? Can we access the facilities in the room better? So it's not giving a cookie cutter approach. We're making sure we've got flexibility. And then alongside that, we're also looking at a future development that allows us to manage our site as well. So going from the configurator, we've designed our building, but what does that mean for logistics, for vehicles in and out? What does that mean for our excavations? What does it mean for hoarding? All of these things start to get built into the process. So it's not just about cost and quality anymore, it's also about safety. It's trying to build this full circle, not just meet the requirements, but also make sure we're adding value wherever we go.
Richard Green, head judge of the Digital Innovation category, said, "The Connect Configurator software solution, created by Tilbury Douglas and their development partner Unity, makes innovative use of a 3D games engine technology to generate RIBA Stage 3 real-time building models, significantly reducing the development time for detailed designs." What's next for Tilbury Douglas? Data to further support the progress for each project.
I talk about data a lot, and at the moment I've shown you visuals. For me, this is key, and this is the next bit we're looking to launch shortly. It's data. I want to take the data out of those designs. I want to actually have a good understanding of what's the progress on my design. What does that mean for cost? What does that mean for my program? My net zero carbon, I'm going to go into my carbon tool and do an analysis. I want to see what that means. Bring all of this together, support business cases, support approvals, support progress live on site. All of this then brings us full circle to what I talked about Connect being, not just something that you design with, but something that effectively brings together all of our various capabilities into one place to deliver what we call a digital twin, that ability to really virtually understand our facility. So we take the design, we take the data, and we have a virtual replica of the room you're sitting in.